Hello YouTube, and welcome to a first tutorial for the Flash section of Creative Tutorials. And today I'm going to show you something quite simple, quite helpful and very useful. Dynamic buttons. Now you may use buttons in all types of projects that you use, animations, websites, user interfaces, anything, whatever it is, animation menus, anything that you want to use it in. This is going to help you save on those sizes. You know, it really helps when when you put out a project. It's hefty file size, and this is just going to really help drop down the file size. So as you can see, I've got 3 buttons here, and yet I've got 2 buttons in the library. Yet if I preview, I've got 3 individual buttons which do different things. If I click home, you click this button, so it tracks everything as well. Basically, we're close on inspection on these. I'm just going to click one, and as you can see, it's got no instance name or anything. So these are all independent buttons. They're movie clips. We're just going to go ahead and have a look at the actions. And as you can tell, for our first box that we've got, on clip event, text.text equals home. And this is obviously giving the name home for when we run it. You can see home. On rollover, go to and play to, which is the intro of the redness. And when you hover out, it goes to and plays 16. On release, you click this button, which we've already seen. So basically, this is really good. It's quite easy to change as well. So basically, if I thought to myself, do you know what, I'm really not liking the way it hovers over into that red. Maybe let's change it to, I don't know, say for instance a green or something. You wouldn't, but let's, for the sake of arguments, just roll over into a green. So we're going to go ahead and select green from our filters over here, like so. So when we roll and play over, it goes from a blue to a green, goes back out to blue. If I were to play it, it doesn't just affect that button, it affects all of them. Now this is great, especially if you're making a website or something quite strenuous, where you've got like loads of buttons. Say for instance, you've got God knows absolutely how many. You've got like, say for instance, a whole page. Okay, you've got all of these going to different bloody website, all different pages, and you're like, God, I've just made a mistake. I need a special like kind of color to go on it, or maybe a different layer with animation text or something, special effects going around the button that you need to apply it to everything else, and you've got loads of buttons. You've got 50, and you'll think to yourself, this is going to take me ages. Well, not with this method. As I said, once you've changed one of them, all of them get changed. Now this is great, this is really helpful. It's going to save you on file size, it's going to save you time, and it's very easy to do. So let's go ahead and make a new document, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So first off, it's created in an ActionScript 2.0 file. Okay, so you're going to need to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make the background black, just well, grey, just so that way it stands out a little bit more. We're going to use this palette that we've got here actually. Except I'm just going to take out one of the shades and just keep it like that. We're going to use our rectangle tool from our tools list. Just make a nice rectangle like so. Select our paint bucket and just drag from the bottom upwards. Oh, do it from the top downwards rather. We're going to double click on our outline. I'm just going to press delete to get rid of that. We're going to select our text tool. Select white for our paint bucket, and we're just going to go ahead and type some text. Maybe subscribe. Wink wink, subliminal messaging. So we're going to drop that down onto there. I'm going to maybe make the text a little bit smaller, so I'm going to make that 50. Yeah, I can dig that. That looks right, that looks good. So we've got our subscribe text there, and basically when you make your text layer, it'll be static text in the properties box. Okay, if you can't see your properties box, go to window rather, and then you look for properties, which would be here, and then select property from the list. Okay, so that will bring up this window down here. So properties will change on context sensitivity. Once you select your text, the properties will change to the text. Select a background color, your properties will change to filters you can apply to that background color, or movie clip, or such and such. So with the text selected, we're going to go ahead and select a static text drop down box, or the type font box, whatever, and select dynamic text. Okay, with that selected, we're going to go over to our variable box, which is on the properties box, and type in text, all lowercase. Okay, excellent. So now with the text still selected, we're going to go to modify and then convert to symbol. And we're going to have movie clip selected, and we're just going to write in a text original. Okay, it doesn't matter how you write this, it doesn't matter if it's higher case, lower case, it's not going to matter. Click OK. So we go, we've got our first movie clip in the library. So that could probably equate to, I don't know, 2 KB. So, you know, we're on a start. I don't know how much that's going to equate to, that's just an estimate, don't bash me for it. We're going to select both of them on our stage by clicking out and dragging and selecting. We're going to go to modify, convert to symbol again, and we're going to make it another movie clip, and we're going to call this button. Simple, keep it simple, it's all good. Okay, click OK. Now we're going to go into our button by double clicking, and while we're at it, we're going to click our text, and we're going to give it the instance name in the properties box of text. Okay. Once you're done, also right click text and distribute to layer. Okay, and move the text layer above the actual background layer, or layer 1. Double click layer 1, call it background, so that way you're nice and organised, you know what you're working with. Okay. So, oh, don't move that. So now that we've got that sorted out, we want to make some animations. So we're going to go ahead and say this animation is going to be 30 frames long. We're going to select both frames, and I'm going to select insert frame, and now we'll see some grey box leading up to frame 30. So we're going to right click on the background, on frame 30, on the on the timeline up here, on the background layer, on frame 30, right click and select create shape tween. Again, right click and select insert keyframe. So we know what the first what the intro is going to be like, and then all the way through to the last frame, and then it will repeat itself from frame 1 backwards and just keep looping backwards around. On the middle frame, however, we want the colour to change. So let's go ahead and select a nice, I don't know, go for pink, shall we? Let's just get to our feminine side. That actually looks pretty goddamn good. Okay, so we've got our frame 1, press enter, and it will play. It's going to play a little bit slowly because I'm recording, but as you can see, it looks pretty good. And when it gets halfway through, it kind of goes to an orange, and then, you know, it's kind of mixing its colour palettes. Create a new layer above text and call this actions. Okay, this is where our, say for instance, don't mind that, I'm just muting the speakers. This is where our code is going to go into, so we're going to go ahead and open our actions frame down here. If you can't get to your actions, go to window, and then actions will be here, which is F9. I can't press F9 because otherwise it will stop recording, and this is my third recording already. Type in stop, open brackets, close brackets, and then semicolon, I believe. Make sure it's exactly like that. Case word for word, make sure it's lowercase. Go to frame 15, right click, go to insert keyframe, and we're going to bring up actions again, and we're going to type in stop. God, I'm really struggling not to hit F9. Right, so now that that's done, it knows to stop on keyframe 1, so it's going to stop like that, and when we roll over, we want it to play through this and stop again on 15. When we roll our mouse off the actual button, we want it to play from 15 onwards to 30, start to loop again, and stop on number 1. So let's actually write that in code. Once we exit it out to the main bit, so we're not in our button, as you can tell, we're on scene 1. If you'll be able to tell where you are by this bit here, we're currently in button. To get out to the main scene, click scene 1, we're out of it. So with our subscribe button selected, we're going to go to actions, and we are going to type on clip event, enter frame, text dot text, which is our text mover clip, then our text variable, equals, we're just going to call this, I don't know, creative. Okay, something that's different to what it's already named at the moment. And then we're going to create new line. We're going to put on roll over equals function, open brackets, close brackets, open curly brackets, go to and play frame 2, close curly brackets, obviously new line and whatnot. On roll out equals function, open brackets, close brackets, open curly brackets, new line, go to and play frame 16 onwards, and then close the curly bracket. So basically that will play the animation, and now we want to give it some kind of interaction. I mean, we're rolling over and showing the animation. We want to obviously show some kind of input when we click the button. So on release or press, mind you, equals function, open curly brackets, and type, maybe for instance go to a certain URL, so get lowercase higher case URL, open bracket, and maybe we'll write in YouTube. If I could type correctly, that would be very helpful right now. And if you write blank like so, it will make it in a new window. So there we go. As you can tell, this it opens with a curly bracket and always closes on a curly bracket. The text inside that must also repeat such thing if it's making a function. So it opens on a curly bracket and closes on a curly bracket. Anything that's within that applies to this function. So yes, I'll cover some of that more on a later date. So if we run this now, we can see that our text runs quite nicely. It's missing a few frames. Actually, no, it's not. It's running on a frame rate of 12. I'm going to change that to 30. Click OK. There we go. It's a lot more fluid. As you can tell, Creative is running. So again, if we were to duplicate this, move that up and then drag that down and click and hold Control before releasing on our mouse, we duplicate that. Again, we've got 2 buttons in the library, which is great. We can select our second text box. Almost did it again. Go to Actions and change our text to tutorials or whatever you want to put it at. That's totally up to you. And that won't change until you actually render and play the actual thing. So we're going to press Control and Enter. As you can see, it's changed. Okay. And that's great, that's wicked. That's, you know, as long as you know what you're doing, when you go to render it, you know what's going to appear. So when you click it, it's going to open up a new window. Perfect, you know, can't get any better than that. This is going to save on time, resources, and if you make a mistake, it's easy to edit. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe so that way you'll see all my following tutorials. Also, if you've got any suggestions, please post them in the comments below or send me a message. Thanks for watching, guys. I've also got a Facebook page. Please check that out. Thanks, guys. Bye.